good morning from Munich Airport. Today I will fly to Houston on a United Boeing 767-300 in Polaris Business Class. After a very unfriendly check-in at the United counter, it's time to head through security. I booked this trip on the Lufthansa website, which caused many problems during online check-in. If you're flying on Polaris Business Class, you're allowed to use the Lufthansa Lounge at the H gates at Terminal 2 in Munich. The buffet is rather small but still decent, and there are a few hot options available. Since it's breakfast time, you can get some scrambled eggs, sausages or pancakes. As you can see, the pancakes are currently not available, and it took them at least half an hour to refill it. And afterwards, the scrambled egg was missing, and it took them another hour to refill it. Come on, Lufthansa! So here's my sad looking breakfast, but at least I still got some of that scrambled egg. The lounge is rather small, and it can get quite busy if there are lots of US-bound flights departing from Terminal 2. My aircraft arrived a bit late from Houston, so let's hope they turn around this big bird rather quickly, since I still have a connection. After a second security screening by the TSA, I arrived at my gate. This is a 767-400 heading to Washington, since the Houston flight normally always leaves at a bus gate, and I don't know why. To reach the United departure gates, you have to pass 2 security checks and 3 passport controls. And today the staff seemed to hate their job, since they were all really unfriendly. After a 10-minute bus ride over through the Terminal 1 apron, we can finally board our 767 through this jetway, which just randomly sits on the apron. And as you can see, priority boarding is not a thing here, since you get into the bus with everyone else. So the boarding experience was really stressful and didn't really feel like business class. And of course, the bus boarding caused even more delays. I still haven't figured out yet why United to Houston always parks at this remote stand. Welcome aboard this recently refurbished 767. The Polaris Business Class has 10 rows in a 1-1-1 configuration. This plane also features a premium economy. If you're looking for a seat with the most privacy and the best views, always choose an odd-numbered row, like I did today with seat 9A. The even-numbered rows are located closer to the aisle and only have one window. At your seat, you will find this lovely United Polaris cooling pillow, as well as 2 blankets and another bigger pillow. I've never seen such a big pile of amenities on a seat before. In the storage compartment to your right, you will find a water bottle, the amenity kit and some headphones. Also, the menu was handed out, as well as a sanitizing wipe. Down here is the safety card and the onboard magazine. The cabin crew came around and offered some pre-departure drinks, and I opted for a still water. We finally pushed back with a delay of 30 minutes. But isn't this wing view just awesome? The safety video is really entertaining, but it was extremely loud, so the engine start is not really audible, sadly.
In Polaris Business Class.
4 exit doors, 2 on each side of the aircraft. If the doors are open in an emergency, slide rafts will automatically inflate. In a water landing, slide rafts detach from the aircraft and are used.
Smoking of any kind, including e-cigarettes, is never allowed on the aircraft. FAA regulations prohibit tampering with, disabling, or destroying lavatory smoke.
And off we go towards runway 26 right.
Make sure your seatbelts are securely fastened.
And here's the 767-400 departing to Washington again, which we saw earlier at the gate. This stretched version of the 767-300 was specifically built for US carriers and is only flying with United and Delta nowadays. I still have to try it before it's gone forever. Now it's finally our turn to take off with a delay of 45 minutes, so turn up those speakers and enjoy the 767 roar. What an amazing departure, and I really love that 767 wing, especially with the big winglet. Welcome to the front lavatory. I really love the design with those blue LED lights. It looks really clean and there's even some face mist. As you can see in this layout, it's really private. When you're sitting down, there's no way of seeing any other face in the cabin. In the left armrest, you will find the seat controls, which will let you put the seat in basically any position. Up front, there's a small compartment for your phone or tablet, and to the left you'll find a USB charging port. The tray table is really sturdy and you have a device holder up front for your tablet or phone. You can move it into any position, so you can even get out of your seat while you're eating. To your right there is a small storage compartment for a water bottle, and up on the counter is another power outlet as well as the audio port and the remote for the in-flight entertainment system. This small lamp will come in handy during night flights if you want to have some mood lighting. There's also a reading light which comes out of the side. A small compartment on the side features a mirror as well as a small space for a water bottle and the amenity kit, which I will show you now. It was like unwrapping a Christmas gift. United really provides you with everything that you could need on a long flight, from eye shades to earplugs, tissues, face cream, as well as a pen and socks. And the sturdy case is also really useful for future flights. About an hour into the flight, the crew came around handing out hot towels. The really friendly purser then came around and asked what I wanted to have for lunch, and I opted for the stuffed chicken. But he already told me since I'm sitting in the second last row, my option might not be available, so I had to choose another one just in case. Lunch began with some warm salted nuts, and I opted for an apple juice. And while we're waiting for the main course to come in, check out this cool KC-35 cruising next to us, heading up to the United States. The appetizer and the main course were served all at once. The stuffed chicken tasted great, but it was a little on the dry side. But I really enjoyed the fresh salad. It tasted absolutely delicious. All in all, I must say this meal was pretty good. And in comparison to other airlines, it's really not that bad. I then caught this KLM Boeing 787-10 heading to New York JFK, cruising next to us. The crew then came around with a dessert cart, and I opted for the ice cream sundae. You can also choose your own toppings on there, and I just went for all of them. Maybe that was a bit much. And after this great meal, let me quickly show you the entertainment system. There are hundreds of movie choices available in lots of different languages, so you won't get bored even on really long flights. They have new movies as well as some old classics. TV shows are also available and lots of episodes. There is also a great choice of music as well as podcasts, live concerts and some games to play. But for me the best entertainment is always the in-flight map. United lets you customize it and you can even move it around freely since it's also a touchscreen. And with about 10 hours to go, we're passing the highlands of Great Britain. The mountains even have some snow on them, and I'll let the views speak for themselves for a minute. And that we're leaving Europe behind. This is the island of St Kilda, the westernmost point of the UK. The cabin was really quiet after lunch and most people had their window shades down. Since I was a bit tired, I wanted to try out the lie-flat seat. And it was really comfortable, especially with all those pillows and blankets that United gives you. The seat is pretty wide and you also have lots of space for your feet. I woke up 3 hours later as we're just passing Greenland. That down there is not just some cloud cover, it's all ice. The views got even better as we approached the western coast of Greenland. This is my first time crossing Greenland in the center and not just passing the southernmost tip on a transatlantic flight, and I was simply blown away by the breathtaking views. As we reached northern Canada, there was a light cloud cover, but you could still see some ice floes down below. And we're now passing northern Quebec. which is not inhabited in the center. I then went on watching a movie and I tried out the noise cancelling headphones. They're not the best, so if you have your own, just bring them with you. The Boeing 767 still features individual air vents, which is greatly appreciated. And as you can see, also Ontario is still covered with ice and snow. And while the outside views are not really changing, why don't you check out my Instagram page where I post live stories of my travels as well as aviation content. And we just reached Lake Erie, which also has the border of Canada and the United States right in the middle. And now I can finally welcome you to the United States airspace. And we're flying just above Kansas City, with the Missouri River flowing directly through the downtown area. About 2 hours before landing, the pre-arrival meal was served. I opted for the Wellington burger, which was pretty good. It came alongside a muffin and a small fruit salad. This meal was also pretty tasty. Of course not as big as the first one, but that's absolutely fine. The captain then announced that the weather in Houston is not really good and that they would prepare the cabin for landing about an hour before we actually touch down due to the turbulences and the high winds that are coming up. And as you can see, even before we started our descent, we were already engulfed in clouds, and it also got pretty bumpy. The approach was really rough, and as we're now on final for runway 8 left, the rain also started to kick in.
Houston, Texas. Local time is 4:46. Please stay comfortably seated until the seatbelt sign is off. You may continue to use and charge your phones and tablets. If you're sitting in the exit row, please don't plug your devices into the aisle.
Welcome to Houston Airport. We touched down with a delay of 20 minutes, after a flight time of 11 hours and 7 minutes. And now we're crawling to the gate because in front of us is an Airbus A380 of Emirates that just landed and is taxiing with about 5 knots. There you can see the giant bird, which is not really moving at all. And I was getting pretty nervous at this point because my connecting time just reduced to 30 minutes and I still had to pass immigration and another security check to get to the domestic terminal. So what are my final thoughts on this United flight? The ground experience in Munich was really stressful and I wasn't really happy about that in the beginning. But once I stepped on board, the experience was absolutely fantastic. The crew was really friendly and came around every couple of minutes just to make sure that you're okay. The meals tasted good, the drinks were fine, and the entertainment system is also great. But I especially like the seat. It has such a good privacy and is really comfortable. And this over 30-year-old Boeing 767 feels brand new after the refurbishment. So I can really recommend United on a transatlantic flight, especially if you're flying in a new Polaris Business Class seat. And if you're interested in my connecting flight and if I actually made it, you should consider subscribing to the channel. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, see you in the sky.